Okay, thank you very much for joining today. Um, just one point today. I'm not well. I am suffering from Mura Okata. So bear with me. My voice is somehow will be difficult to hear me, or you may hear some disturbances. Um, right. So last week we covered getting started about the introduction on Python. We also discuss about how you can actually set up your environment using Conda, and also how you can install Python packages. We were not able to finish or discuss this chapter 2 of this book, but today we'll discuss that. So I can see we have many people here. Please, if you have not started our repository, please start this repository. If you start it, it will make it more, the repository will make it more well known by communities. People can come and contribute and learn more. So please do start our GitHub repository. Um, as well, if you want to keep track of changes, anything we change or update in our repository, watch this repository. When you click here, watch, it means everything. If you say, for example, all activities, it means when we update this repository, we push new changes, you'll be able to just be notified that, hey, or we update this repository or something like that. Sometimes when you create a repository, there is something called about. So when you click this about, you write what this repository is meant for. So you can see description, our RODS Python programming um, uh, curricula. So when you create a repository, make sure you write description if you have this, but there is something called topics. When I write, for example, Python, because this is about Python, I can write Python, I can write programming. This will say something. I can write data science, right? So I can say save. So you can see here, there is some changes here. You can see here about this repository is about data science program from Chrome, and there is keyword Python data scientist. So what this keyword meant is when somebody come to this repository or he come to GitHub and searching something related to Python, let me click Python here. When I click Python, it will show me all the repositories that have this tag of Python. Can you see this? Awesome Python project base. You can see anything related to Python, transformers. So this is something that you can tag. If you talk about programming, when you click here, you'll be able to see some stuff, Recodecamp programming. So this is Recodecamp, how to learn some programming stuff. You can see all this stuff, you can see. So this is something I just wanted to show you that every day you can learn something new about our project, about the process, because we cannot teach you everything. As well, here you can see stars, number of stars we have 29, number of watchers 17, number of fork 34. So you can see here. There is something also called release and packages, but we'll discuss later on. So I believe now you had learned one or two things about this GitHub repository. The next thing is we will go back to and start or continue learning on variables. So this is what we will discuss today. So some of you have are already familiar of programming language, and you may be wondering why we are starting, from scratch variable. But the problem is some of us here in this, cohort, they are not from computing background. Some of us here, they are from biology. Some of us here, they are from economics. Some of us here, they are from Hausa. So you see, this is a kind of combination of multiple groups or multiple uh, people with different backgrounds. So we are taking things, small by small to make sure that everyone is carried along. So what is variable? So a variable is just like a container that holds data. That is just it. So for example, here, I can have a box, and inside the box, I can put a number. And then the name of the box is called variable name. And what you put inside the box is your data, right? So that's just a variable. And that variable can be of different types. So here you can see we have integer. So in computing, we call number integer. But a number with point, we call it real numbers, right? Here you can see character. What we mean by character, sequence of numbers, alphanumeric character. And you can see a string. If you have more than one character, sequence of multiple character, we call them string. But here we have only one character, only one alphabet, we call it character, ka. So we'll discuss this, but this is called variable. We give some analogy here. You have, for example, containers with flour, sugar, egg. That is a variable. You have that, and each container holds a specific ingredient. So that's the ingredient is the data. So variables in Python. So what we mean by variable in Python? They have different kind of rules to name your variable. So for example, here you can see this is a string because this is a sequence of characters and they are inside the double quote. They are called string, right? And then we assign them here to, a variable. So here, this is how a variable. So here, message is a variable. What this means is that you are assigning this string and storing it inside a message. Something like this. If this is a string, I'm storing it inside this my string. This my string is a variable. So here it means you have a string here. This is a string, hello Python, and you are assigning it or storing it inside what we call message. And the message here is the variable name. So here you can see when we let me restart this. Remember here, if you want to, because here I have the output here. I don't want you to see the output until we run it. So let me restart this. So when I restart this, uh, and clear everything. So here you can see there's no output, right? So here I assign hello to message, and now I can have this, for example. So this is a message, right? But when I want to see the content of the message, I can just type the name of the variable and run this. So you can see here the message content is. So this message is the variable. Here it is still the same thing. You can see here I have my message, but here you can use print, for example, as well to actually print your message, which is still the same thing. This is happening. You can use print, and then you can type your variable here. So here you can say I have print. I can have my message here, something like this. So in Python, we call print, for example, this a keyword because this is not something that you created here. Print is what we call is a Python word. It's a Python keyword. So print is a Python keyword that print the value of the variable to the console. So this is what it means. We will discuss more about all these keywords. But now for you to understand what a variable is. A variable is a way to store value. So for example, I can have this number is equals to 3. And then I can have, or I can say A equals to 3, B equals to 4. And then I can say B equals to 4. I can have, for example, C. And then I can print the value of C, which is maybe the answer. So you can see A is a variable, B is a variable, C is a variable. So a variable is something that just stores some values to it. That is it. The next thing we wanted to discuss is called traceback, right? So Python has, you may have an error in Python, and one way to be able to interpret the error is going through what we call a traceback, right? When an error occurs in Python in program, a Python interpreter provides what is called traceback when a program cannot run successfully. You can see a traceback is a record of where interpreter ran into trouble. So let me show you what this means. So here you have AA is A is variable, and now when I run this, this is right. But then I want to, maybe here I write it correctly, but maybe I forgot to, I want to see the value of my variable. I forgot to write A, I forgot to write, A, 2A's, but I write 3A's. Can you see that I write 3A's instead for me to write 2A's? So you can see this is what we call traceback, right? Traceback, meaning the error that happens. And Python will point where the error happens. You can see this pointing to this variable, and the error is telling you name error. Name this is not defined. So we have different kind of errors in Python. We have name error. So name error, it means it is an error that it shares the name is not defined. So meaning that this is a mistake, and then you can go over. Oh, I put two. Because when you have a traceback, what you need to do is run to the end of the traceback. Look at what is the error. Look at where the error is pointing and look at what is happening. So you can see name error. This is literally saying that this is the error. Oh, you can go back. Oh, this is the variable name is wrong, right? So this is what we call traceback. We can also have 1 divided by 0, right? Who can tell me, does this work? What kind of error can we going to have? I know you are a mathematician, you have background in mathematics. Can we divide by 0? Yes, somebody is raising your hand. What is the problem? Someone is raising your hand. Nazir Sani. Nazir, you're asking question? Mujahid, you're asking question?
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to ask a question, sir.
Go on.
Yes, sir. So my question is, so after writing the variable, if we want to run the command, we don't need to write print again. We can just write the variable and execute the command.
Yes, that's correct.
So we don't need to write print again.
Yes, that's correct.
On that notebook.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, and we have different ways to name variable. Variable names can contain only letters. Only letters. Space are not allowed in variable name, but underscore can be allowed. So you can have a variable name, say Isa, Musa. Can you see? Avoid using Python keyword. So you cannot create a variable with the name called print. So print, you cannot do that. Variable name should be descriptive. What this means that when you are creating your variable, it should be descriptive, meaning that what it does, it should be very specific. So here we can see when we run this, we have zero division, right? We know zero division in division by zero, we cannot be done. So this is what we call traceback in Python. And yeah, so we cannot do that. So let's move on into what you call string. A string is a string of characters. So what do we know by character? So in Python, when you have this, A is a character. A is a what? Is a character in Python. But when you have a sequence of characters, for example, something like this is what we call string. So a string is a series of characters. Inside anything inside code is considered string in Python. So anything inside code, whether single quote or double quote, you can see here I have double quote, here I have single quote. So anything inside this is called a string. So here you can see I have a print, and I have two uh, I have the same message, but this was double quote, this is the single quote. So when I use this, you can see it prints, right? So if you want to use print, you cannot use a string without quote. Let's see what will happen if you have this. When you run this guy without closing, can you see it will show you invalid syntax, meaning that you must put this is a string, so you must put you must put the code here for it to run. So a string is anything that is inside a single or a double quote. So you can see you can use both the single and double quote for that. But also you should know that if, for example, if inside my quote, inside one quote, I want to put quotation. I told my friend, Python is my favorite language. So you can see inside my, I have quote. So if here you have a single quote, so the inside you can use double quote. If you have a quotation inside your quote, you cannot use a double quote outside. Let me show you double quote outside here. You can see you have error, right? You can only have, you can, but you can differ them. So you can see here, I have one single quote and inside I have what? Double quote. Or you can have double quote outside single quote. So flexibility of using both single and double quote allow us to use quote and apostrophe within the string. You can see here I have double quote outside, but I have Python with single quote here. So this run. So you can exchange them, but you cannot use the same inside and outside. So this is what we call string. The next thing is what we call method in Python, right? So method in Python, Muhammad Yahuza Yelwa, you want to ask question? So method in Python. So let's talk about what is method. So method is anything that you can actually perform on a piece of data. So let me give you a scenario. What is method? So if you have a bicycle, what can we do with bicycle? Who can tell us what we can do with the bicycle? An action that we can perform on bicycle with bicycle.
So you can ride bicycle.
Yep, you can ride it, right? So this action is called what? Method. What about a car?
Yeah,
We can drive.
also drive. Driving.
What after driving, what can we do with a car?
It will take you to a destination.
We can fuel it. We can repair. We can service it.
Okay, so just give you this two example with bicycle and car. A car you can drive. This is an action on the car, right? So this action is a method. A bicycle, you can ride it. This is a method. So what we mean by method in data in Python is, for example, if I have this string, if I have this string is Shamsuddin, right? If I have this string, this is in which letter? In which in small letter, right?
Yes, sir.
In small letter. So if I want to change this to small letter to capital letters like this, Shamsuddin, because this is then there is kind of action that I will call on this string, a method that will change this one to change it to capital letters. So what I'm trying to tell you is that in Python, everything is object. Put this in your mind. In Python, everything is object. So the example I gave you, a bicycle, you can ride. That ride is action, right? Riding the bicycle is action. Is method, doing something. But the bicycle itself is an object. We call it object. A car, you can drive it. Driving a car is a method. Action you can perform with a car, on the car, but the car itself is an object. So also in Python, everything is object. What I mean by everything is object is that a string here, a message, if I have this message is equals to greeting. So here, the message is an object. Variable is an object. So put this one in your mind that everything in Python that we see, everything that you see in Python is an object. And since everything is an object, it can have method. Do the analogy now. I told you bicycle is an object and it has a method of riding. Car is an object and it has a method of what? Driving. So that means every object has a method, right? All objects, they have the method that can do some action, right? Then in Python, every object that you see, it may have some method to work on it. So let me give you an example. This is a name, Ada. This name is variable, right? And this is a string, right? Then if I want to change this to title case, then I can call, let me remove this. If I run this, you can see that, let me, do you know what is title case?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is title case?
It means everything in capital letters.
It will change the law. It will change the lowercase to uppercase.
Okay, so let me
It
say
means
this. It means what?
each first letter of the word is capitalized.
Yes. So let's look at this Ada Lovelace. You can see small letter this, but when I run this, you can see it changes the capital first letter of each word is capital. That is title case. So this means that this title, this name is object. I told you a variable is object. But what kind of object is a string? It's a string because this is a string, right? Because this is something more than character. So this means that this object string has some methods. One of the method is title. It take a string and change its anything that is C to lower to title case. Who can tell me, does anybody know if we want to change it to everything to capital letters, what can we do?
So that is the to offer.
Use the
Offer? Okay.
Yeah.
So when I have offer, so you can see it changes this. What about when I send it to all lowercase?
It will convert to lower.
Lower.
Yeah.
Okay. Like this? Okay. So you can see to all lower. So what I'm trying to tell you is that now for any object, there is method. And that method start, if you want to act a method on the object, you need to call the object and put dot, then the method name. Look at it. It's very simple. Object name, dot, method name. The method name is lower. Can you see the method name is title? So you can see the dot after the name is in the title, tell Python to make the title method act on the variable name. Every method followed by a set of parentheses because every method is followed by a set of parentheses because method often need additional. So every method you can see it followed by parentheses, this parentheses. Can you see that? Every method, it has this parentheses, right? But some methods, they have something inside the parentheses and some they don't have method, anything inside the parentheses. Take this one also. Some method, they have something inside the parentheses, while some, they don't have anything inside the parentheses. So, so you can see here, this is what we saw. We have upper, we have lower, right? So to call a method, the format is object name and method name, which I already explained. Object name, method name, which we already show. Object name is the variable name, and that is this. But as I say, some method, because we said every method name and open and close, some method, they don't have anything inside the bracket, but some they do. Let me show you another method, count. Who can suggest what this method count does? Who can tell us?
It counts
The
later.
number of characters.
Number of characters, right?
Yes, number
So-
of characters.
So you see here, because here I call lower on this object, lower, I didn't put anything. So that's method without anything inside. But the method such as count, you must put something inside. Let me remove it. If I call count here, I run this something like it will turn that. So you see that. So it means that some method, they have something. So what this count is that it's, okay, my name, my object is name, which is this. So here you can see I have this. Let me remove this, everything here, and do this. And then here I call a method count on our object, but I put A inside it. This method count will count how many A appears inside your name, inside your object. So if we run,
Sorry.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry,
Sorry,
sir.
sir.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry.
Right. Okay. So if you see here, we have A. It means it will count how many A do we have in this string. So when we run this guy, it shows 2. Then we have A here. We have A here. You can see small a. We have small a here. So we have this. What about if we change to big A here? Let me run this guy. You can see I have this. So this is to tell you that some method, they do have argument inside them. Some they do. How can you know? Don't worry. As you move on, start learning Python, you will learn more about this method. For each one, you cannot learn them now. All of them, even myself, I don't know them all by heart. It's just when I want to use something, I just go look them up and something like that, right? But just for you now to know, and this is this method. And one thing you should know is that this method, they are for, okay, now I told you, gave you an example. We have a bicycle, and bicycle is an object, and you can ride. Then the riding is a method for bicycle, right? Then we have another object, car. You can drive. That method, driving for car, is a method for a car. Now, do you think the method for bicycle can be applied on the car object?
No, sir.
No.
Because you cannot
cannot.
ride a car. You
No.
cannot ride a car, right?
Yes.
You can only drive it.
You can only drive a car. Okay, perfect. The point I want to tell you here is that the object, the method here we have, every object has its own set of method. This means that this method is only for strings. You cannot use this method on, for example, numbers. So here I show you another, this one, replace. This is a method that can replace other. A replace is a method that replaces anything you see at the beginning, it will replace it with something at the second. So you can see here, we have other and labeled, but we call this method, we replace this one. So this is what we call a method. But how can you see the available method for an object? So here, name, you remember, is a string. When we do this, for example, DRN name, I print it. Here you can see some of the method. You can see them a lot. You can see them. Lower, you can see lower. You can see ls strip, replace, you can see them. So what I'm telling you is that you can see upper, you can see title, you can see swap case, strip, you start with. All these one are method for string object, for string. What do we mean by string object? Object with in double quote or single quote with content of one or more characters, right? So let me give you an example. This is, we haven't come to this, but we will discuss this when we come there. But just to give you an example, this is a list. A list is something with this square bracket and content, and it has a method called append list. The method is called append, that it can add something to the list. So when I run this guy, you can see that our list is ABC, but it add D to the list. So this append is only a method for the list object. You cannot append on integer because on string. So this is just to tell you some scenario. So you can see here, I have this list. If I call this upper to this, then this will happen. It will tell you that list object has no attribute offer. Can you see that? Does this make sense? List object does not have attribute. So this is telling you that list does not have a method called upper.
Well understood.
Yeah. So this is telling us that list does not have a method called an upper. A method, this method upper is only available for string object. Now we have another thing. If I have a list, this will tell me what kind of it. If I call this, it will tell me this is a string. So sometimes you can call this type, it will tell you what kind of object is this. So you can see here when I call type, it tells me this is a string object. When I call type on this, it tells me this is a list. Don't bother that you don't know what is list. We will come to learn more about the list, but just here to tell you what this means. Oh, okay. Somebody say I'm not speaking loud, right? Okay. Sorry.
Voice is all
yeah, somebody is complaining that sorry, my volume is low. I'm sorry
It's
about
audio
that.
from our side.
Sir,
Okay,
sir, we can hear you clearly, sound and clear, sir. We can hear you.
I don't know, maybe
Right.
maybe his headphone.
Okay, maybe so.
Your voice
Muhammad.
is good.
Okay, so Muhammad, please, maybe you can. So this is what we call Python is an object-oriented programming, and in Python, everything is an object. Everything is an object. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when I have this number here, I say number is equal to 3, or I say string is this, Musa, or I say list, name of names, student, I say, or I say this, maybe I have this Isa, I have this Musa, and then I have this. So you can see this, for example, this contain numbers, this contain string, this contain a list. All these are what we call object. They are all object. They are all objects. So let me see this. What type is this? Number is what type is number? You can see it's integer. So integer, because this is a number. What type is string? This is string. Can you see that? What type is this? It's a list. So you should know what type of object you have so that you can call the relevant method on it. Does it make sense? Because if you know you are driving a car, you know you not you have a car, you know you are not gonna drive it, right? If you know you have a bicycle, you know you're gonna drive ride it and something like that. So you should know the object you have so that you can call relevant method on it. Because this is string, I can call method for upper. I cannot call method for for list, which is called add, something like that. So yeah. Okay. I already show you here to check how many method you have for any object. It's just to call this DRN on that object. So here, for example, I have an object this. I can call dr. Can have this. You can see dir the object. You can see a lot of method that you have, something like that. Which also I already show you this. We use object type and this. Okay. Yeah. Now the next thing I want to show you is how we can use variable in string. What does that mean? So there is a concept that we want to show you called f-string. So the idea is how can you use variable in a string? What is this? If I say hello, Usman, you are 30, right? So, okay, let me put it, yes, all. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
What is
yes,
this?
Sir.
What is this? Is it string or is it number? What is it? Is it string?
String.
It's a string.
Okay, okay, the string. Now, a string, you cannot change its content because here I say, hello, Usman, you are 30 years old, right? But remember, the name Usman and 30 years are variable that can change. I can say, hello, Aisha, you are 20 years old, right? I can say, hello, I can say, hello, Aisha, you are 19 years old. So that means if something is in string, how can we be able to change it? Then we have what is called F string that allow us to change something inside the string. So for you to do that, we can have an example here. I have the name of the person is Eric. The age is 74, right? And then if you want to print something like this, you can put F here. Can you see F here? And you can put the double quote here and then double talk at the end. Then you put your text. So I say, hello, Then where I want to replace the name I want to be changing, I will put it in this curly braces. You are, then I can say 50, you are 50, I can add years old, like this. This F, when I run it, it can say, hello, Eric, you are 74 years old. If it is Muhammad, the name is Muhammad, and he is 20, and I can run this. Hello, Muhammad, you are 20 years old. Can you see that? You can change this. Nusaiva, he's 19. You can run this. You say, hello, Nusaiva, you are 19 years old. So you remember something like, you can do this when you are programming. You want to ask people to submit their name and age. And when they submit their name and age, you want to put in, hello, so you are 19 years old, something like that. So this is a way to change something variables, dynamically. You can even use not double quote here. You can use single quote, for example, and now change my single quote here. When I have this, I run this, you can see it's giving. You remember this is a string, and string you can use either one or double. The only change is that you added this F at the beginning, only this F, but the whole thing here is a string, and where the variable you want to change, you put them in this format. So here is, you can use either single or double. It will also be valid to use not only single F, small letter F, but you can use capital letter F, is still valid. And you can also do calculations. For example, 2 times 27, it give you an answer. You can see this. F2 times 37, something like that. Everything you can do, multiplication and whatsoever, And also here you can see 3F. So okay, this is something that maybe, this one is telling you to use 3 decimal places. So you can see here, we have this, when you have this, the 3F, the 3F is saying you use it. We'll discuss this more when we come to the numbers. Yeah, so here I have hello, and I have this, I have a dot lower. So you can see, in fact, this is your variable, but you call a dot lower is funny, it's still okay. Yes, Muhammad Hamza, you raise up your hand, you have question? Mujahid, you raise up your hand, you have question?
Yes, sir. So I have question.
Yes, go on.
Sir, I can see that the numbers we are using, we are not putting them like we are not using apostrophe when writing numbers. So does that mean that we don't need to use apostrophe when trying to run
yes. Which numbers? Here, these numbers?
The age, you wouldn't put apostrophe when you wrote 19.
Yes. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, for numbers, So here, for string, we have the, for numbers, you don't need to put apostrophe. Numbers, we don't need to put apostrophe. Yeah, it's only string that you need to put inside this. Only sequence of characters. Only sequence of characters that you put this. But the number, you don't need to put inside apostrophe. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Nusaiva. Right, Zainab Aliyu.
Okay, sir. If we use the F string, do we get the result back as a string? Because where you perform this calculation, I can see it giving us a result, just like if we are calculating using integers.
Okay, so here you can see it return as a string, right? But here, because it's F string, it return a string. You can see this is a string. You do the calculation, what this is, you do the calculation here, but the result will be string. The result will be string. Here is also string. But when you want to do like a calculation with it, after all, you can convert this one to integer. For example, you can, say here is this, you can see here is A. When I say this is A, it's string, but you can use integer conversion to convert this one to integer. You can see now it is 74 without string, right? So yeah, the result, if you do multiplication, if you do calculation with F string, the result will always be string, but you can change it if you like after the output. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay, cool. So you can also use multiplying, But also there is something here that I want to show us. So there is something this called escape character. You can see this guy, escape is called escape character. So here you can see I have name, I have profession, I have tech corp, right? So I have what we call multi-line F string, multi-line. So here, this is a message. I have this F, hi, name. Can you see name? You are professional, yeah. But here, before any, I put this. Before the next one, I put this. Let's run this guy and see what. So this one will post anything. Go to the next line. It's called new line character, new line stuff. So this will post this from here to here in first line. Then we'll post everything next to go to the next line. And this one will post everything to go to the next line. So this is what we call line carriage, and I think we will discuss them in the subsequent session. But just for you to know that this is what we call that. Yeah, so let's move on to the next thing, comment in Python. So in Python, when you are writing code, it is highly encouraged for you to write comments in Python. So what is comment? So here you can see print hello. You can see here I do something like this, and I put this hash. So a comment is something that will explain your program as you go along. So here, for example, you see some comment. I put it. The dir function return a list of valid attributes for that language. This will print out all the possible. So this kind of explanation is what we call comment. And it starts with this, something like this hash. Can you see that? And its main purpose is to explain what the code is doing. So it is very good to write comments in your Python code. Maybe you write code and you want to send it to another person to read it. So when you write code, it will basically make it much easier for other people to read your code and understand. So comment is very useful. When you write code, please do write comment so that it is readable and other stuff. So let's go on to the numbers. So numbers are basically in Python. Here is called what we have integer. You can also do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. This is addition in Python. This is subtraction. This is multiplication. This is division. So let's go and do that. So for you to do addition, we use this one, and we can use what we call floating numbers. So for example, 0.1 plus 0.1 is 0.2. Any number with decimal point is called a float in Python, float number. We call them float number. You can also division. So you can see here, this is division. We divide 10 divided by 5, which gives us 2. And you remember, division will give you float. So you can see here, the division by integers give us float number. So in Python, division of integer give you float. And what about addition? Integer plus float. So you can see these are integer because this is 10, this is 10, 5 is integer, right? But division of integers will give you floating point numbers. What about addition of integer and floating numbers? Who will tell us what will happen? Who will say?
Float, give a float answer.
Yeah, will give us float number. So you can see it gives us. So addition of the integer plus float, it will give us float. So Python default to a float in any operation that use float. So any operation that use float, no matter how, when you combine float with any operation, Python will change the output to float. Yeah, even if it is whole number. Now, the next thing is we want to discuss is what we call multiple assignment. So here, when I say A equals to 2, B equals to 3, it means I assign A to 2, I assign 2 to A and B to 3, right? So when I run this guy, I say, what is A? I can see 2, right? When I say, what is B? I will see. But this make it more cumbersome. I take multiple steps. How can I assign values using in a single line? That is what we call multiple assignment. So I can use this comma. I can say A, comma B. Then I can say 3, comma 2. This means that A is assigned to B, 3 is assigned to A, and 2 will be assigned to B. Let's see this guy, what happened. So when I run this, I will say, okay, what is A? It will show me 3. Can you see that? And what is B? It will show me 2. This is what we call multiple assignments. So if you want to assign values multiple times, then you can do it in a single way. Similar to this, X, Y, Z. When I run this guy and I call X, what will be the value of X? Who can volunteer? What will be the value of X?
2.
2.
Yeah. Okay. What will be the value of y?
4.
5.
What will be the value of z? Z will be 5. 5. So 5 will be assigned to z, 4 will be assigned to y, 2 will be assigned to x. Yeah. Okay. The next one we want to move on is called constant. So what we mean by constant is a variable. Mujahid, go ask your question.
Yes, sir. So what is going to happen, for example, if we use, for example, let's say I run a code with A, comma B equal to, for example, let's say 1, 3, 5, while adding 3 numbers after the distance. Is it going to allocate each number?
Mujahid is asking us, like, we have 2 numbers, but we have 3 numbers here. So let's run this guy. So look at what will happen.
Okay.
Too many values to unpack. So it cannot, because this is tuple, we will come what is tuple. So it cannot do this way. So you can only have 2. So when you're, so that will show you.
And then, sir, what do, like, for example, line spacing, does it hold any significance when you are trying to run a code? Because I can see that some places we do add a line space and some places we don't use to add a line space.
So for example, here we can see this is space. We have space here, right? Yeah. So let's see whether we can run this guy. When we run it, it gives us. So you can see it doesn't add anything, right? There is space. But in Python, there is a standard guide about space and whatsoever, how many space you can. So you cannot just come here and leave space. So something like this is okay. But there is also standard. We see the guide for Python at the end of this chapter.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so there is also what we call constant in Python. So constant is something, when you see something written in capital letters and sign is called constant. So when you are doing some programming and you declare a constant, it means that that value will not change in your program. It's constant. You just assign. So we usually indicate a constant value with capital letters. Can you see that? Because like what a variable we indicate with small letters, you can see that here. Anything which is variable that can change, we indicate them with small letters. For example, message. This is something that will change, right? So constant is something that you do not expect to change. So we use capital letters to actually define it. So the next thing is underscore in numbers. So sometimes you can see underscore here in Python, but this does not change anything. It just way to group your numbers. So when I run this one, I say what is value of A, you can see I have 4 numbers, right? So it's just for you in Python, just to make it easier to understand how many numbers digit you have, you can use underscore with the numbers. So whenever you see that it's underscore in numbers somewhere else, just don't care. It's still used for fancy way to just separate group of numbers, but that it doesn't mean anything. It just allow you to do that. The next thing is stripping white space. I told you we have many methods for any object, right? So here I have, for example, favorite language Python. Now, favorite language is Python. When I run this guy, favorite language, what kind of variable is this? Who can tell me?
String.
It's a string, right? Good.
Yes.
Now it's a string, right? But a string has some method. But here you can see I have what we call white space. You can see here I have white space. What if I want to remove this white space for this variable? Then a string has a method called rstrip, meaning remove string from right. Can you see? Because this is from right. When I run this, look at what happened. You can see it remove the string from right. This is a method from the object. So let me show you this method. When I do this guy, so you can see rstrip, right? So when we go here, Yep, and I think you can see it R strip. Can you see it R strip? So it remove that. So we also have here, you can see here from left, we have L strip. This also method remove, white space from this. All right. But what about if you want to remove from both and you use strip? You can see strip, right? So this is just telling you we can use many. We cannot cover this one. Like, look at this method. There are many, so they will become handy as you start learning more and more about the Python programming. So there is something called syntax error. A syntax error occurs when Python does not recognize program as valid Python code. So let me run this guy. We can see here, this is a string, right? This is a string. This is a string, and we can print the message for the string, right? This is a message for the string, right? But then look at this. We have one single code, and I have another single code here. When I run this guy, it will show me error, right? So you can see syntax error, invalid syntax, because in Python, you cannot have one single outside and another one inside, unless you change them to two from inside. So that's what we call a syntax error. If your program misses some concept about the syntax of the programming language. All right. So I think we are on top of the hour exactly, but then there is something called then of Python. This is I think when we look at the book, when we go to chapter 2, right? In your terminal or in your VS Code, wherever, do write this and see what will happen. Do write this, import this, and run. It will show you something called the Zen of Python by Tim Peters. So these are some of the, a very good rationale and guides on learning good Python code. Beautiful is better than ugly. So the first one is complex is better than complicated. Readability counts. There should be one and probably only one obvious way to do it. Now is better. So all these stuff, they are talking about features that makes Python more intuitive, more beautiful, more simpler. You can read them. I think we are on top of the hour. We don't have time to explain them, but it's not necessary for you to even know them. But if you want to learn more about them, just go and Google Zen of Python. Yeah, go and Google Zen of Python. You'll be able to learn more about them. It's just about, some of the features of Python that you may be likely interested to see. Yeah, so I think we will stop here. Tomorrow we'll be able to cover chapter 3, and Falalu tomorrow will be able to cover the next chapter, which is list. Yep. So Falalu will go through list, what is list, how to do many stuff with the list, modifying it and other stuff. Please do read this chapter as well, chapter 2 for the list tomorrow, so that you will have better understanding and you will ask many questions. Yeah. Okay, question?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So my question is not regarding today's class, but rather last week's class. because I supposed to have asked the question in the data clinic we had, but unfortunately we ran out of time and I couldn't ask the question. So I don't know if I could be given the permission to do so now.
So we cannot hear you. Imrana, go on.
Hello, sir.
If you have a question.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello? Hello?
Imrana.
Hello, sir.
Umar Haruna, any question?
Sir.
So it seems like you can't hear them, but we can hear them.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Can
I'm
we hear?
sorry.
Tell him in the chat.
Hello?
Hello. Use the
Hello.
chat. Hello.
You can write the
You
question.
can use the chat. It's like he cannot hear you. Use the chat photo.
Oh, okay. Yawa to ina jin ku yanzu. Ina ji.
Hello, sir.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Yawa.
Sir, my question, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Go on.
Okay, sir, I said I have a question, but it is not regarding today's class, but rather last week's class. I supposed to have asked the question during the data clinic we had last week, but unfortunately, because we ran out of time.
Let's stop answering, attempting to answer other people with this class question so that you can come over. Imran Salisu.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, I can see from your end, in your BS code, you have generated, you have markdown and what have you. So, sir,
Last week.
Yes, sir. Last week you said that we should download extension called AI Copilot, isn't it?
No. You don't have AI Copilot. Nobody among you I say AI Copilot. I just show you that there is something Copilot that people that are university they can apply for free. Yeah, but it's not for anybody to download. But it's not necessary for this course. Yeah. Are you talking about the extension GitHub Copilot?
Yes, sir.
So the extension GitHub Copilot is something that you need to pay to get it, period. But if you are a student in Nigerian university or anywhere, and you have university email that end with .edu, something like that, you can go and apply for that and get access to that. So that's simple as that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Umar Haruna.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
I need more clarification about F-string and print statement. Are they the same or they serve different purpose?
No, they serve different purpose. So, what different between what?
F-string.
Test string.
F.
Oh. No, print. No. Print is just to print anything that you want to print, but F string is just used to a way to support multiple variables. How can I say it? So if you have if you have a string and you want to manipulate the string, through changing some content, so you can use F string. That is all. They are different. Print is a keyword that you can use in content.
Okay. But can you use it for concatenating two-string OMO?
What, F string? Yeah, if it's possible, you can do whatsoever you can do with F string. We will explore more about them later on.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Muhammad Hamza.
Good day, sir.
Yes, good day.
There's need to add more clarification clarification on float, main number, and the double.
Oh yeah.
In case of variable identification.
Right. Yeah. Right. So in Python,
we have different kind of data types. Oh, maybe I didn't explain. Okay, maybe data type and other stuff, but that's okay. So I think we will explore this maybe later in the chapters about these differences. But for now, I think we understand that we have integers, we have characters, we have plot. I think it's okay for now. Maybe when we come later in the chapters, we will be able to clarify this for new. Yeah, we don't want to add too much information to make things difficult, but thank you for the suggestion. I think I will.
Thank you, sir. So because sometimes some other textbook, those are using float, double, they might have used to assign real number. That's why that real float and float and double inside the real number.
It also depends on the language what you are working on. For example, the language you are working. So if you are having some confusion, so somebody will be using the terminology
thank you, sir.
From one language to another. Yeah. Hamza, Nigeria Hamza.
All right, good afternoon, sir. My question is variables and objects the same? Or if not, what are the differences?
Okay. Okay. So variable and object. So all variables are objects. All variables are objects. So what I said in this session, I said Python is object programming, and everything you see inside Python is object. So variables are objects, methods are objects, functions are objects, but we didn't come to those ones. But everything that you see in Python is object. So yeah, that's it. But variables, all variables, just to make sure, is object. But all variables are object in a way, in short. Yeah, all variable, to answer your questions, are object.
Okay. Now my second question is about the GitHub Copilot. Since we can't access it because we're not students, that IntelliCode is supposed to suffice for it, right? But it's not doing that.
Yes.
It's not doing that. I tried it today on Markdown.
Yeah, it cannot do what you see I'm doing. So it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to help you maybe with writing your code, maybe suggestions.
Yes, like with prediction, but it's not doing that for me. I don't know why.
Oh, maybe.
So I tried code. Use Codium or something like that, and it works.
I tried the in IntelliCode. I have the extension on my VS Code.
Okay, so what we can do
Codium can do it.
What we can do is we will do session. I see many people are interested in using the AI stuff, so we can do session where people can use the open source tool to have on their VS Code so that it can help them as well. So no problem, we can do that as well.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Faisal.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for impacting knowledge to us. May Allah reward you. My question is that, sir, how about people that joined lately and they want to catch up and they were able to get the videos, all these, and going together? So about the assignments now. So how can they...
just to, are you admitted into the program?
Yes, I am.
Okay, did you receive email about acceptance?
I don't.
Yeah, so I understand a lot of people are coming. We have already closed applications, so it's not like our program is not like running for hours, like joining every time. So the application for the program is closed now, but everyone can join and learn. And if you are interested, you can join the next cohort. But now, because we cannot cope with, every day many people are coming to say they want to join, and we cannot keep track of, new people join, and we need to teach them what we have missed and other stuff. So you can keep joining to our class learning, but formally we have closed for joining to the class.
Sir,
okay.
So I think there are some people that didn't receive the mail, and it has been clarified. So, but sir, you said you are going to update the list of accepted fellows on the Arewa GitHub website, of which I think maybe you became so busy that
No. For all, if this case he has not applied, so we are not talking about those that have applied and they received and they have not updated the other. For those one they will do, but for anyone that have not applied, have not received, so this is just to tell you, like, our application has closed, and you can apply, but you can keep joining our classes. That's fine.
Like my case, I have applied,
but you have not been admitted. You have not been admitted, right?
I'm not sure, sir, because
Okay,
I have
so
forgotten.
sorry. You can keep coming to our session and joining. That's totally fine. But yeah, Ali Ukani.
Okay, so maybe if you update the
Ali Ukani.
Mine is challenged with regards to my conduct. Previously, it's working okay, but unfortunately, when I'm doing practice today, whenever I want to create an environment, it's showing me I should uninstall and go back and reinstall.
Yeah, so what I think you can do is you get assignment, keep trying different ways and learn and try to solve that. And then you can write a blog post on the issue you encountered, how to solve it. So so try as much. I don't even have right now the answer to, okay, let me stop recording. I don't